Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're fresh off of Megalogalopolis, which should be out. So if you want to go check out that commentary, the link will be at the end of this episode when it does the thingy where it shows everybody all the stuff that you can watch. But if you're not here for Megalogalopolis, which why would you be? Because this is an anime. Welcome to DanDaDan, which I am watching the first episode of today with good buddy of the channel, Mr. David.
Ahoy hoy.
Ahoy, ahoy, ahoy! And we're gonna check out the first episode. If you want to see more of it, or if you want to have us continue to watch, it would be nice to do a series on the channel. So maybe this will be the
It would,
one.
and I would be totally down. Yeah,
So if
for
you
sure.
want to see more, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But it's been a
Yeah,
while since Mr. David has checked out a anime. Uh,
yes. So like outside of like movies, I've seen I like that Your Name movie, and I watched The Boy and the Heron, the new Miyazaki film. But like an honest to goodness anime TV show, it's been like maybe since college since I've actually dug into a new one.
Do you remember what the newest anime TV show you watched is?
I mean, this is gonna date me as an old man. I think it might even be like Durarara and Bakano from that era,
Mm-hmm.
which were both very good. I enjoyed them, but I this sort of this was concurrent with me kind of giving up on TV in general.
Yes.
So like I fell off. But yeah. In high school, I went through an anime phase. I was reading your Bleaches and Naruto's and the One Piece, and then I was way into like Death Note was my favorite. I loved Monster and Full Metal Alchemist. Like I had I had a period.
Tell the people at home why how anime ties into us in our friendship, our
I would
brotherhood. You
lend
would even say.
I would lend Tanner the DVDs of Death Note as I got them.
Yep.
And we would discuss the series as it progressed. So it was quite formative for
That was, I
our
believe, the
future.
very first thing we ever talked about because Battlestar Galactica came after. I'm
Yeah, that was
almost
a little
positive.
after Supernatural, Sons of Anarchy. Like those were a little after.
Yeah.
I want to say you're right. I think Death Note might have been
Yeah.
our one of our, if not our earliest bonding experience.
Because I'll be the romantic biatch in this situation.
Yep.
My first real memory of you is walking into the library. Remember how they had that space in the back? Like there was the
Yeah,
library
yeah,
with desks.
we're a good place for the nerds to hide.
Yep, a good place for the nurse to hide during lunch. And they
Yeah.
had a bunch of computers back there, so you could just kind of
Yep.
like you could literally just hide behind them if you wanted to, and nobody would be
Yeah,
able to
you
find you.
basically like hide in one of the computer pods, and you could do whatever you wanted in there, read or like draw
Yep.
or whatever. Play with magic cards.
Yep, and
Do
very distinctly remember walking back there to go look for a book and finding my good buddy or my future good buddy, David,
yeah.
reading a Death Note manga and just being like,
Yep.
I have
I was
also
reading.
partaken of the Death Note.
Yep.
Yep, and the rest is
And we that's where it started, man. It was like out of a fairy tale.
yep,
Uh,
a true fairy
yep.
tale bromance.
All because I had my manga, showing it off for the world to see.
This is the
And yeah,
memories.
yep. Precious memories. And yeah, from there, we went off to the races with Doctor Who, with the Batmans and the Supermans,
Yep,
the whole kit and caboodle.
buying
So I have a lot.
Supernatural DVDs and then making him watch it because Netflix
Yeah, yeah,
wasn't a
yeah.
thing
We
back
would
then.
we would knock out entire seasons of Supernatural over a long weekend. All good stuff. All very formative. So I have a lot to thank anime for, I guess, because it brought us together. But yeah, so that's about like where my anime is. And now, what about you, Tanner? How have you stayed? Have you stayed as what do they call them? An otaku? Have you kept that up throughout your
So I
adult
am.
life?
I do tend to. My thing with anime is I'll give any series kind of a because anime is like honestly there is nothing the same way like comic books are a genre in and of itself. animes are very much a genre in and of itself. What I mean by that is like it can take a idea as stupid as I got reincarnated as a vending machine. I'm not seeing the vending machine one, so I can't say that it's good. But as an
Oh, that's a real
example,
one. That is an actual one.
yeah, like it can take a well, I what I was gonna say is it can take an idea that sounds as silly as that, and then because it's anime, it can somehow transcend it into being really good. Like
Hmm.
Food Wars is a good example of this.
The fighting
Food Wars.
fighting foodons. Sorry, is that a different thing?
No,
That's a
Food
different.
Wars is a show basically about a super like intense cooking academy that like takes itself super seriously. Like it's all the anime
Yeah,
tropes of a, but it's a
like
cooking
for the
academy.
Prince of Tennis as well, where it's just like tennis, but as like legit, emotional warfare kind of a
Yeah, and
deal.
like and it's super intense, and like you follow a guy who is your typical, oh, I come from nothing, but I also am an amazing cook. Like, and it can take a idea as silly sounding as that, and like somehow transform it into something really, really good. And like I got
Yeah.
reincarnated as a slime, I got reincarnated as a sword. Like all of those ideas and premises are batshit insane, like to Western like storytelling or
Yeah,
audiences. But
and
like anime somehow takes it and makes it into something like amazing, and it's
no,
just
like it plums like yeah, takes a premise and like a very goofy idea, but then what makes it work is yeah, it commits to it. It like plumbs like both the emotional depths, but it also turns it into crazy ass world building.
yeah,
Like it really is like, hey man, let's like dig as deep into this goofy ass pitch as humanly possible.
yep. And let's like commit to it 110%, and
Yes,
just
it's very
ride it to the very end.
it's very earnest. Yeah. Yeah, which I also appreciate, and I think yeah, like at its best, that's what anime can do over a lot of the other genres is that it can have characters screaming about their fathers and stuff, but he's a sandwich man or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. Or
Yeah,
give you something as like silly as like, oh, I got reincarnated as a sword, but then tell a gripping emotional story about that
yeah,
person's
yeah.
adventures as a sword without somehow
That
making
last
it seem
the
like the
last
silliest
the
thing
last anime
possible.
I watched was the one from the Your Name guy, and it was about a chairman, and that was beautiful.
Yeah,
Like
there you go.
a love story about a chair. Belle was very good, and that was also just like, hey man, what if it was Beauty and the Beast, but it was a girl who's really online, and the Beast is like one of her trolls, essentially, like a gross internet boy who's the monster, who there's probably a good soul underneath. So like that was again like taking this premise and going really like full on cosmic matrix, like fairy tale with it.
Yeah, no
Uh,
man, anime is that's why I'll almost always give like at least 2 to 3 episodes of an anime time if the premise sounds interesting because
yeah.
like you never know with anime too. Like
Hmm.
you could stumble upon like the greatest anime you'll ever watch. And it's just because
Yeah.
that market is so saturated, you would never know unless you watched it because
You committed a little bit to it.
there's just so much of anime and like
And also yeah, like there's a little bit of like, and it's gotten better because people have stopped like animes are a little better at, like taking breaks now, but like this gets into the filler talk where I noticed as an up and comer that animes usually have really strong pilots, like they really like lay the cards out. This is what
mhm,
this is going to be about, and usually end on some badass transformation or something. But I have noticed usually like episodes 2, 3, and 4 tend to meander a little bit,
yeah.
and sometimes that's an entire first arc is not as good as what follows. Uh, so yeah, for sure, like anime has to be a little bit of a like. This might be the best thing you've ever seen, but you're gonna have to commit to it or be a little bit, sometimes dip
What
your toes
I
in more.
what I also like about anime nowadays, and this is just because it's kind of become the it thing, anime is really like can really feel like going to like a comic book shop and like asking people for recommendations.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, the best place to know where to go find like good anime at or to like get good recommendations is just going to a message board like Reddit and like seeing what people are talking about. Like it is a
Mhm.
very nowadays it's a very talky talk genre to get into because so many
Cool.
people now watch anime, especially the
Yeah.
generations younger than us. That's it's a really
Yep.
big thing. So
It's
like
not so much so that like sometimes just like a special presentation of Demon Hunter that somehow becomes one of the like highest grossing films of the year just
yeah,
because like people run out to the special events of just showing like a big fight from whatever anime is
they
popular.
played the first two episodes of Dragon Ball Daima
Yeah.
are being shown in movie theaters, and then after that showing, they're gonna start releasing the dub because all they have are the sub content out right now.
Hmm.
The reason they're doing that is because the dub content is what they're gonna play in the movie theater, and yeah, they expect a big turnaround, so they don't want those episodes out in public because people are going to go to the movie theaters to see him. Even though the first two episodes of Dragon Ball Daima is mostly just setup, like nothing super interesting happens, but people will pay the money to go see them in movie theaters
Yeah,
nowadays.
if you can see them early and if you can see them big with a lot of hooting and hollering fans, like why not? You know.
Yeah, it's crazy how much anime has how the popularity and like what anime is nowadays. It's fascinating as well.
Very much so, especially yeah, with the younger and younger crowd, and how that has kind of bled into American animation as well. Because I feel like a lot of shows are now anime influenced by a certain percent. Like
Hmm.
that slowly kind of took over. And yeah, it's kind of an interesting like of all trends in all the world. It's kind of funny that anime, like, partly because of its big, like, emotional honesty, I feel, is why it has, Western audiences really glommed onto it, especially the younger you get, and that's kind of, I don't know. I would need to write some dissertation to figure out all the reasons why, but it
No,
is.
yeah, but it's
I don't think
fascinating.
like if you were. I don't think if you were like in the '90s and guessing what was gonna like kind of devour culture in such a way, I don't know how many people would have banked on anime,
No, I
but it
certainly
ended up.
wouldn't have. I certainly wouldn't have thought back then. That thing like sitting there reading Death Note, passing it back and forth with you, watching the anime, which is a really solid anime. Um, how much it would have like taken. Not even. I mean, our generation also really loved it, but like, I think there was a real like after our generation, a real glomping onto anime.
No, there's a real Bane. You know, you merely adopted the dark. I was born in it.
Born in it.
Yeah, yeah, like a lot of them Gen Zers are yeah, like nah, man. I just grew up looking at anime. Like my first images were anime, and
Yep.
I mean, it was young enough. Like I was, late '90s is when your Dragon Ball Zs and your Pokemans, started
Mm-hmm.
getting like very inundated and popular here, and yeah, it just kind of spooled out from there.
Yep. And then they kind of gave birth to what anime is now because I don't even think you could I don't even think newer like you said people born in the anime age would even see Dragon Ball and like maybe Dragon Ball more but like Pokemon. I think Pokemon very much became a cartoon over the years whereas like nowadays anime is a little bit different than just an episode of Pokemans.
Very much so, yeah, because now like it's more like the shonen approach, or even on the girlier side, like your Oran High School Host Club, or your what is that? Fruits Basket was a really early one where I feel
Yep.
like now when you go to an anime, you're like, no, this is going to be kind of like an epic story with a beginning, middle, and end, and
Yeah.
like twists and turns. And I feel like, yeah, that was something that kind of happened slowly. Because even Dragon Ball Z, which, yeah, does have like story arcs, they're very easy to understand. Where it's like,
Mhm.
oh, there's a bad guy, and Goku's gonna, after 50 or 100 episodes, punch him, and it's
Yeah.
over. And even if you come in the middle, you're like, oh, this is in the middle of when he's fighting Frieza or Cell or whatever. Whereas, yeah, now, like, you're getting sagas, with
Yeah.
like ins and outs and supporting
Well, you make a
characters.
good point. Anime has become much more complicated nowadays, and it tells a much more complicated but for most of the time. Most of the time when it's successful, very human emotional story.
Yeah, man. There's a reason why like Goku is like painted on murals, and like there's all the inspirational memes about how if Goku can save his friends, you can stop being an addict or something. There's
Yeah.
like uh he's almost become Jesus in his own right for people.
Oh yeah.
Because people feel that character. Like they understand him and his ups and downs.
No, I couldn't agree more. Now, he might not be a anime TV show person, but I know I can always count on David to tell me what's going on with One Piece and its
Oh,
antics
yeah.
of.
So One Piece is very funny because, yeah, my exception to the I don't do anime and manga anymore was, um, passed into my adult life. I was reading One Piece and Bleach because I was like into the big three. I fell off with Naruto. I never super enjoyed Naruto, which is kind of
It's sad because
um,
Naruto has like an amazing premise, but like
yeah.
super annoying main character.
I've never been able to really get on board. I would always uh like I have like lost friendships and like it's strained like crushes and relationships where I have to be like I'm just not as into Naruto, man. Every other dumb anime I can enjoy, but for some reason that one just bounces off me. But to the broader point, like I was reading Bleach up until it ended, like 8 or 10 years ago, and then I was like, well, it's just you and me. One Piece was kind of how it transitioned. Where, like it's the last, because it's the last shonen of that kind from my boyhood anime days that's still ongoing. So yeah, I now week to week like still read One Piece.
Yeah.
And One Piece has weirdly had, I think, a resurgence because of that. Because like people of our age who are into those like Shonen Jump animes and mangas, it's still like ongoing, and it is still like, oh, when is this thing gonna end?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thing. So I am current on One Piece. So yeah, this can be the section where you ask me any One Piece related questions.
Oh, you give me. I get a good breakdown every single time because I super love the idea of One Piece. I actually super love what I've seen of it. I just am on. It's just one of those things where like you came to the race way too late. Everybody's
There's so much of it, man. Even
yeah.
the just catching up with the manga was like annoying and a year-long project. And the anime I will never touch. Like there's too much of it. Like when I hear like, oh, they're animating a cool fight from it, I'll watch like clips of that
Yeah.
episode. But that's about as far
Which
as
is
I go. Like,
crazy because this is one of the reasons why my friend has fallen off of TV is because he's nefariously known as the person who has to see all of it. Like,
yeah, I
you
can't
can't
dip
just
in.
you can't just dip in and out. You got to watch every season and every episode.
Yep.
So
Which is also why I can't get onto these animes, and why maybe DanDaDan if I like it. Like that'll be my closest to appointment anime that I've
well,
had in a very long time.
to circle back to
Um,
DanDaDan, it is. I don't need to hype it up to the viewers at home because it is like I think the episode that just came out is one of the best reviewed episodes
okay,
of TV that is in 2024. At least the
yeah,
best anime. There was that in an episode of Demon Hunter, but I saw on IMDb it was like 9.9 or something.
Gee,
DanDaDan is super good, and what I like about DanDaDan is that it gives you all that you want from anime. The things that we were talking about, taking a super weird premise, giving it a
yeah. See,
real emotional
I didn't know
core.
any of this going in. I'm staying spoiler free, but
Yeah,
I did just
I'm
Google it.
not gonna spoil anything, but like taking
Yeah, like episode 7 proves why DanDaDan is one of the best anime you absolutely have to see. I'm seeing a lot of headlines
yeah,
like hyping that up, so I'll put
and
my phone away to not get spoiled. But
I will say it is one of the better episodes of anime I have seen in a while. What I like about DanDaDan as well is that it does circumvent its tropes a lot. Like
hmm.
I told you going in what the synopsis was. I gave you the broadest of it.
Which appealed to me because it's about different paranormal investigator kids. Like
Yes.
they have different obsessions, and that's rad. As someone who, before I was an anime guy, I was a paranormal obsessive. Like I liked reading about Bigfoot and Loch Ness monsters and
Yes,
UFOs.
cryptids.
I tried to be a ghost hunter for a little bit as a teenager. I went to like Ashley's Haunted Restaurant in
Yes,
Florida.
we
Yeah,
had
yeah.
we grew up in Florida in the Cocoa Beach area. There was a
Yeah, yeah. Kennedy
restaurant.
Space Center in that area.
Yeah, there was a restaurant called Ashley's where you
Yep.
quote unquote saw a ghost in the bathroom. And one of our first bromance dates was to Ashley's where we tried to get haunted to no avail.
Yep. Ordered a boring cheeseburger, as I do, and we were just kind of wandering around. The bathrooms were supposed to be very haunted, so we were peeking around in those. Just the men's room. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, yeah, no ghostly activity. The St. Augustine Lighthouse was also one where I was like, bringing my camera to click for, take photos to see if orbs would appear. I was
Hmm.
doing the whole Ghost Adventures experience.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, so another day.
ghostly delights are one of the things that was one of the things that we bonded over. So it's a good
Very much.
return to form for both of us.
Yeah, so that already kind of appealed to me about DanDaDan. But yeah, to go back to what you were saying, yeah, so it's a good premise. It's been quite a popular, acclaimed show, I guess, is what I'm
Yeah.
gathering.
No, it is pretty. It is pretty. I found it because my manager, who is a big Dragon Ball fan, was talking it up, and he sold me on it. And I've been pleasantly surprised by it because I can be picky with anime just because there's so much of it. Like I've never gotten into My Hero Academia.
Nope, nope.
You
That's a
know,
little after my time. The Attack on Titan I know is popular, but
yeah,
I have
Attack on
not
Titan. I've never seen
not
like
gone down the rabbit hole. Yeah, these are like the younger people animes that I've checked out on a little bit.
yeah.
Um,
So it takes a lot for me to commit to an anime nowadays, especially because there's so much that I haven't seen. Because that's the thing about anime as well is, unfortunately, it's a saturated market, but it's a saturated market where like there are so many diamonds in the rough. Like I said, you
yeah.
can click on an obscure anime and think you're just gonna get a you know
What's the dungeon crawl anime that people seem to like? Like
there's
we're
a
all
couple. There's one where
we're all
there's like
going on a fun dungeon adventure, something
there's a
like that.
there's one about like cooking in a dungeon too that I've heard is like super
That's
good.
the one I think people seem to be crazy
Like
about, or
again,
some
that's
people.
anime. Like it's so crazy that like you can cooking in a
Mhm.
dungeon and like people will rave about it. Like it's like the best story ever. And yeah, some people get
Yeah.
overhyped, but like there is anime out there that's legitimately like the stupidest idea ever, but like they sell it like so well, and like anime
Mhm.
transforms it into something just freaking unique as heck, and
Yep, yep.
it's just
And I think
crazy.
I think I've come to appreciate that more. I've come back around to it because there was a period. One more talk about my anime nostalgia, where I sort of rejected the dumber ones or the more like shonen-y ones,
Hmm.
and I was like, no, I only like the highfalutin ones. So like
Yeah.
that's where I read Monster and 20th Century Boys, which are like awesome. Like those still might be like the Citizen Kane of anime for me. Um, and like Mushishi was one where it was a little like more highfalutin on paper, like cooler artwork and more of a chill vibe, that sort of stuff. Berserk, I went down the rabbit hole for a
Hmm.
little bit on, though again that one beat me because there's so much of it.
Yeah.
Um,
Jamie talks a lot about Claymore, which is
yeah, yeah,
supposedly very, very good. I've never had a chance to really partake
I
in it.
actually, yeah, I did watch a little bit of Claymore back in the day. Um, so like there was this point where I was almost like kind of rejecting the goofier ones, but now I've
Hmm.
kind of come back around and been like, nah, like you need a little bit of that in there.
Well, and again, you can't
Mhm.
discount a goofy anime as
For
being a
sure.
bad anime because again, they can take something as like silly as oh, I got reincarnated as a vending machine, and you'll turn it on, and next thing you know, you'll be crying because the vending machine told you an emotional story for 2 hours and like really sold you on whatever plight it's feeling, and it's
For
all
sure.
wrapped around human conditions. And like
Yeah,
even
and that's
again, that's why even the fan servicey ones can be like, yeah, it sounds super fan servicey and just horny shit on paper, but suddenly you turn into watch it, and then 5 episodes later you're like, wow, these characters are like actually something, and that carries it over into being something else.
no, exactly. And like as much as I love Monster, it actually is similar to when I argue The Simpsons versus King of the Hill. Bear with me with this metaphor. Um, King of the Hill, why I'm like, I still go The Simpsons as the best animated show is I feel like King of the Hill on some level, you could do those scripts as live action sitcoms and not a whole lot would change
Mm,
necessarily. And similarly, Monster, though I love it, maybe the best manga I've ever read, you could basically do it as a like a Breaking Bad type show, and not a lot would change
oh
necessarily.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and so I think like as I get older and I'm ranking like what are the best animes ever, I still like I'm more drawn to like like a Death Note or Full Metal Alchemist where it's like yeah, it's like grittier and more complex than the average one, but it's still an
Still,
anime, you
yeah,
know.
it's still an
Yeah,
anime, and it still feels, it
still
still
has the
has
goof
a
the goofiness and the big emotions.
right, right.
I hear this when people argue about whether Cowboy Bebop or Evangelion is the better pick for best anime ever. And when people argue for Evangelion, they say like, no, like what, like Evangelion is an anime. You know what I mean? It's got the creeper shit, and it's got the robots, and it's
Hmm.
got the boobies, and like it's got everything you would expect out of an anime, but it takes it in different directions. Whereas, yeah, as much as I love Cowboy Bebop, and it is more down to earth, like on the scale
Yeah,
of anime. So I'm sort of sympathetic to that. I think I still prefer Bebop just because Bebop is a more like rock solid work of art. I
yeah.
feel.
Well,
Yeah.
we've talked about Evangelion before too. I really, and from what I remember of it, it has been a hot minute since I've seen it, but I really
Yeah.
hated the
Yeah.
ending.
Yeah, you were not into End of Evangelion, which is where most
No.
people are like, that's the good shit, and I'm more inclined to that.
Yeah,
It's kind of a Twin Peaks: The Return situation, actually, where like you're less into like the dark and weird and baffling directions. It goes in.
yeah. No, I. That's what I remember the most from it. Where I remember where Cowboy Bebop is just solid from beginning to end for me. I should
Yeah.
really give Evangelion because isn't there like 3 different endings nowadays, depending
Yes,
on
because
which version you
there
watch?
was the show ending, which you liked, where it was he argues with the cue cards in a dark room, and then he comes to the conclusion that his life has meaning, and they all congratulate him, and you're like, oh, that's beautiful. And then
Oh, then there's the other
Aven,
one where they basically spend like 20 minutes kicking the shit out of him, and
yeah, yeah,
then
yeah,
at the end it's
like
like nothing
he
matters.
sucks, and you sucked for liking him. Yeah, that's end of Evangelion. But then they did 4 reboot movies, which start as retellings of the series, but branch off in their own thing. And I'm not that crazy about those. They have their moments, but like, this is me burning the bridges with my Evangelion fans. Those reboot movies have their moments, but I feel like they bland it up a little bit. Like they're more like regular than I would like out of an Evangelion product. I
They're
feel.
not weird enough for you, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and I think they even like have lines where Shinji is like, "Hey man, I'm tired of being a crybaby. I'm like a badass now." Like it's kind of almost making him too regular an
Oh
anime
yeah, too much of an
protagonist.
action
Yeah.
man,
And
not the
that kind of
crybaby
bummed
we
me
know
out.
and love.
Exactly. That kind of bummed me out a little bit. Um
Oh.
but I digress.
Yeah. All right. We spent 30 minutes talking about anime, which, to be
Yeah.
fair, again, is anime is such a wide topic. It is a fun topic to talk about.
No,
But
this will be a fun corner if we commit to it cuz yeah, we can get our anime writings on paper, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
But
All right, so we're gonna watch Dan. The one that we're gonna watch is going to have ads, so we'll have a little bit of a break. I don't know how. I can't imagine the ads are gonna be very long, given that this is only a 24-minute episode.
I hope not, but
But
we'll
we'll
see.
see. So just be aware. We'll let you know when there are ads if you're watching along at home. We are going to go ahead and start. I am watching the dub version. David is
I'm
watching the
watching the
sub,
sub, which will be
which is going to
fun.
also
We're
be interesting.
love and marriage, man. You can't have one without the other.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go ahead and press play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Whoa, the colors, man.
I know, man. It's
Um,
so colorful.
I'm tripping out. Oh, this looks cool, actually, and reminds me a little bit right away of one I didn't mention, which is FLCL, the Fooly Cooly, which I remember liking quite a
I've
bit
never
as a
seen
younger man.
FLCL.
Yeah. Oh, you've never seen it?
No, I'll have to take a note of it.
Oh, you should watch it when we end this one. It's 6 episodes. I know they made like 2 sequel shows, which I never watched. But you can watch it in like 2.5 hours, like
Oh,
be done
really?
with it. And yeah, it's quite a ride, is all I'll say. Yeah, that was one of the ones on Adult Swim back in my teenage years that like kind of rejiggered my brain a bit.
Oh, really? I do love
Yeah,
always
yeah,
getting a good anime recommendation.
yeah. So definitely, and then yeah, maybe you can let me know if those like follow up seasons they did are any good. But for me, that was like the 6 episodes were like a beautiful beginning, middle, and end story, and I didn't really need any more, so I never went back.
Do you ever think you'll go back to Samurai Jack? Because I know you haven't seen the final
Yeah,
season.
I keep meaning to. I would be totally. Again, that's my OCD. Like I can't just watch the new season.
Because
I
that could
have
be
to rewatch.
something too. We could watch. We could do. I wouldn't mind doing a whole Samurai
I'd
Jack
be
because those
down for a
episodes
revisit.
aren't super long.
Oh, whoa, we're jumping right in. The intro's over. Now I'm learning about this lady who's paying people to date her, I guess. Oh, good. She's kicking the crap out of this jerk
Damn right.
who looks
Don't
very
let no.
similar
Don't.
to.
You shouldn't have to pay for a love for your love hotel, ladies.
No, I agree. Whoa, this dude kicked a woman. I
Oh yeah.
don't appreciate that. And she ain't putting out. He also looks like a character from Bleach,
He does look like. I think I know what character you're talking
a
about.
supporting villain, and his powers on Bleach were oh, he was her first boyfriend. Um, his powers were he had like brass knuckles that had like casino slot numbers on them, and like he could punch depending on the lucky
Oh,
outcomes. That
that's
was
kind
kind
of
of
cool.
cool. Yeah, he looks exactly like that guy. That was a cool arc. He was the number 2 of the bad guy who he had a sword that inserted himself into your memories when he slashed you, so he would slice you and then they'd be like, "Hey, why are you fighting this guy? He's been my best friend since I
That's
was a kid."
that is so that again. That's anime for you, man. Taking an idea and just making it super awesome. Swords that slash into people's memories and fists
Exactly.
that you gotta get draw luck on.
Yep. No, no. So again, we'll see if this show has cool powers because that is an important part. Also, now she's like back on the market, so but she's not into nerdlinger here.
Yeah, she's being nice because they were throwing things at him.
Nope. Do only scum live in this world? She just wrote him off as scum because he likes UFOs or whatever his cryptozoological. What's this guy up to?
This is us at high school trying to talk to ladies.
Oh, most definitely. I was like, hey man, the president went to Mars. This is my in. Oh, she assumes he assumes she's a fan of the occult. He is being a pest, though. I will say, don't use this approach, guys. Though I guess it might work out for him across the many episodes.
Could you imagine telling anybody about your weird UFO obsession in high school?
Nah, man, it'll turn out like Under the Silver Lake when he's telling her the conspiracies in the bathtub and freaks her out and she leaves. It's true. He's pushing her too. Don't talk to me like you know me, man. He's overly familiar. Oh, but she was probably too hard on him. I'm
Yeah.
just narrating what's happening. Hey, they're warming up to each other. Because she's like, yeah, this Artie Ziff guy, he's not so bad.
He does look like Artie. The
Yeah,
glasses.
man. Hopefully not as much of a creep, though, about with his
No,
busy
no, no,
hands.
no.
Oh, yeah, Marge, my busy hands, or whatever he says. Marge Simpson, I was just thinking about her for the last 12 years. Oh, they don't like each other.
Yep.
I bet that'll change. Oh, she's pro exorcism, unlike him who's pro UFOs and riptoids. Man, see, this is where I'm pushing back on this dude because
Yeah, imagine
if
being like, I believe in ghosts, but I mean, I believe in aliens, but I absolutely
exactly
don't believe in
if you're
ghosts.
trying to sell this lady on the paranormal and she's like, I like exorcisms, why would you not be delighted? Like, holy crap, a girl who still wants to talk to me likes ghosts, but he's just too.
Well, you and I are conformists, so the minute we found out that they liked anything, we would just immediately be like, I like it too.
Well, for sure, but no, but I mean, this is so close to my interests that I would still be delayed. There's actually an episode of Party Down with this very premise where he, like, the annoying nerd character finally hits it off with a woman, and she's like, "Oh, you like sci-fi? I like sci-fi." And he's like, "What kind of sci-fi do you like?" And she says, "I like dragons most of all." And like you see on his face that he's trying not to say anything, but then he goes, "Dragons are fantasy," and like goes into a whole rant and like drives her away. And, like this show is just that gag, but as a full series that he found a like-minded person, but just too too nitpicky
Too
to just let it
nitpicky.
be. You know. So are they independently investigating? Or no,
So
this was them like
the deal is they dared each other. He had to go to a haunted place, and she had to go to an alien place. So she went to a
okay.
hospital, and he made her go to he made her go to a hospital, and she made him go to a haunted bridge.
Spooky Bridge, yeah. So either we're gonna prove that the other one is wrong about their paranormal interests. This is a great setup, by the way. I quite like this idea. This is I'm already loving it just for that it's two paranormal pedantic people who can't get along.
And both hardcore believe in the opposite of what the other believes in.
Yep. I'm into it. This is also kind of rejiggering my interest in the paranormal, aliens, Bigfoot, ghosts.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while since we've had a paranormal resurgence.
Tete-a-tete, yeah. So I might dust off some of my like field guide to extraterrestrials, those kinds of books. Oh no, a boy she liked made fun of her. And she blamed it on Grandmama being an exorcist. Oh, so she's like
Yeah, she kind
married
of
with
burned her
children.
grandma, so
Yeah, yeah. So it's a classic. Hey, man, I can shit talk my family, but if someone else does, I'm punching their lights out.
yep, exactly.
Aw, grandma kind of looks like Inuyasha lady
I
there.
promise you, grandma, we she doesn't show up in this episode, which is a shame because if you saw grandma, your eyes would pop out of your skull.
Was she in the opening? Was she
Yes.
the silver-haired lady?
Yeah, she
Okay.
was the silver-haired lady in the opening.
That's definitely how grandmas tend to look. That's again the anime thing, the sexuality of it is often a little weird, a little iffy. It can be fun, but it can also be disturbing. It
Oh yeah,
depends on what shows doing what.
that is absolutely anime.
Yep. Oh, I'll let you suckle my cheeks. Let me gobble that weenie. I'm just reading the subtitles.
I had let me gobble that dog, which is even funnier.
That dong. Just an ordinary granny, man. That would be a good band name, Ordinary Granny. It would be like a Foo Fighters kind of sound. I will say that is a very cool looking evil granny. Oh shoot! This animation rules.
I
Her
know, man. It
flying
goes.
along, flying around the walls. Oh no, a cult coon. Her buddy there. Oh shit!
Yep,
Are there gonna be aliens or the one world government or whatever his conspiracy
his
was?
conspiracy is aliens. Yes.
Whoa! They're ripping her up. Uh oh. Gonna wake up on the table for some alien abducting. We're a friendly people. I agree. These guys are creeps, and again, we're already getting into some anime creeperizing. No, I'm not in favor of this. But I'm thinking something else is going on here. Maybe I'm wrong, but
What do you think it is going on?
I don't know if I'm buying what they're talking about. Ew. I mean, this is quite accurate to alien abductions. They're all about getting them eggs, and the breeding program. But still, don't need some, don't need this in my anime. Ugh. All right, I'm kind of on board. This is crazy.
Did
This is some crazy crap.
you
At
hear them
least,
saying that your part has them talking about them wanting her bananas, right?
yes, yeah. He said he wants your bananas,
Good.
which
I wanted to make
who
sure
done?
that they called the sexual organs bananas, and your one
Which
too.
who boy? At least she's got enough spiritual power to resist the psychokinesis. Oh, good. This is just what I wanted out of life. Did you ever watch Devilman Crybaby?
I've seen a little bit of it. I haven't watched a lot of
It
it.
might have been actually was the last anime I watched beginning to end. I just remembered I did see that, which similar was uh, a scummy jerking off show, but had a lot of depth and power underneath it. So, and some of the wackadoo animation here is reminding me of it. Hey, whoa! He saved her from the aliens by getting possessed by the
By
thing.
biting their probe.
Yeah, yeah. Uh oh. Now he's a granny nerd. Half granny, half nerd.
Now he's Turbo
Gobbling
Granny.
weenies.
He's gonna gobble all their dongs.
These weird swishing aliens. Uh-oh. Maybe they weren't aliens. Oh no, they're aliens, alright. Oh, that's pretty rad. These
yeah.
were like creepy human disguises.
Yeah.
This has some beautiful artwork, I will say. Like, this
man,
is
it's so
very cool looking. That is my favorite part of it at the moment. And the first little meet cute paranormal competitiveness is cool. I'm hoping we start moving away from the pervert stuff, because that's something I'm less into in
You don't
anime.
you don't like the aliens demanding they give the bananas?
No, and the weird probe dick, I'm like, I mean, that part's fine. Bananas is great and a beautiful term, but when they start when they start whipping it out, that's less enchanting for me, I will say.
So he wanted the aliens because he wanted to be friends with aliens.
Oh man. And this is a real bummer for this kid then, because these aliens are. Aw, I'm glad he's like, hey man, I'm all about her, and I'm not into these aliens anymore. Well, it's never me. It's a never.
You guys ignored me, so now I don't like you guys.
Yep. Good for him. Oh, but he didn't pull it off. You gave up really fast.
He did give up really fast. It's his first day.
They're victim blaming. They're like, "Hey, man, like I wouldn't want to be your friend. You're mean." But it's like you're the creepers. Oh, this is how you make chi happen.
This is how you make your key work for you.
No, everyone was making fun of her back then.
Bullying. It prevents us all from getting our magical powers.
Yeah, man, she rejected Granny because the kids were mean to her. And we're in a little bit of a Megalopolis scene here.
Yeah, I was about to say, this does remind me of Megalopolis.
Whoa, man, I'm tripping out. Nope.
All right. Unlock your magical powers.
It only works with the fan service, as often is true of anime.
Yep, I was about to say, you can't have your magical powers without fan service. Man, I do love the alien design.
Yeah, those things are really cool looking. And also, this sparkle background is pretty rad.
Yeah, she's kind of like got a princess, like sparkle thing going on.
Yeah, man. Oh, cool. And this is her, doubling as a little bit of emotional catharsis from getting broken up with by that jerk. Kicked him to the moon, and the moon is like exploding into space.
Look at the spaceship.
That's pretty cool. They were in a UFO the whole time. Oh no. Whoa. It was Turbo Granny the whole time. I mean, I already knew that, but that looks really cool as well.
I know. The artwork is like...
This is some of the more badass drawings I've seen in a while. It's also why this is going to be going on a rant about Western animation. Because I was also thinking about it because I watched, there was a Hot Ones where Donald Duck was the guest star.
Yeah.
And the animation was like really smooth and pretty and like looked like 90s era Disney.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, man, like, so you still have like the resources to do that, but you choose not to, and that kind of bummed me
Well, and
out.
that somebody on YouTube can do that, but a $1 million like Disney production
Yeah,
can't do it. It's just crazy.
still has to just kind of look like the Frozen style, and I'm like, man, like, and this is also giving me like, yeah, like we went out of our way as a society to make animation not as cool.
Yeah,
We picked up Lander.
and you can't even say it's the cheaper option because again, these movies like Lightyear
Yeah,
cost
yeah.
like $3 million.
I have to imagine Lightyear was more expensive than Dan, but I don't
Yeah.
know. Aw, they're buddies now. Aw, I like his commitment to.
Oh
That's
yeah.
brave. That's brave of this nerdlinger. He's
Yeah,
like, hey
man.
man,
He's
gotta do what I gotta do.
yeah. This girl gave him a little bit of attention, and just like classic nerds, we're in it to win it now.
Yeah, yeah. She is right though. He did not acquit himself super well in that fight. I would not go alone. But he's
No.
coming from a good place. Whoa, this is the start of a beautiful friendship. Oh yeah, because you've just been calling him UFO boy.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, so loves this actor named Ken Takakoro, and it just so happens that he also has the name Ken Takakoro.
Oh, was that a coincidence or something
I
more?
don't know. I have
You're
not
gonna have to
gotten that
watch
far.
more episodes
I
to
have to
figure
watch
it out.
more as you watch this cat
Yeah,
enjoy itself.
I don't know what this cat's up to, but I like him.
I really like the animation.
I've had a bit of a cat week because I watched The Talking Cat and I watched Cats. So like, yeah, now I've been on a cat
Oh, that's
streak.
right, you madman. You watched Cats for what, the third time?
Third time in my life. And A Talking Cat now I just go to sleep watching. It's very soothing, that movie, which ain't great. With Eric Roberts as he's like, I'm a talking cat, but I can only talk to a human once. It's like his deal.
That's the premise.
Yes. You should watch it. It's on YouTube for free. You can sync it up with a certain commentary from
Yes.
gentlemen you like. Yeah.
I probably would watch it with the commentary. But
Oh, no, you very much should. Not on its own, it might break you.
yeah,
I'm liking this dancing cat.
it's doing like a little bit of what do you do, that hand motion, like doing the Macarena?
A bit of a Macarena, yeah.
Yeah.
I was also thinking that keep on trucking, like that famous drawing of the hippie walking down the street.
I didn't even think about that until you mentioned it.
Yeah. Now we're scratching stuff. Oh, next time. Oh, he's got like an afro in this episode. Is that his
His
look going
grandma
forward?
perm. No, no.
All right.
All
That was
right.
pretty great, I gotta say. I am sold on this program.
Did you like DanDaDan?
I liked it a lot, actually.
Yeah.
It was a very it was classic anime hijinks, but with some like very above average animation, and the premise was funny. I'm already shipping them two. Uh, And and it had the pervert stuff that makes me a little off put, but I'm also like, that's kind of part of that's part of the anime experience.
Yep, you gotta accept that there's a little bit of perviness that's gonna make you feel a little uncomfortable.
Gotta take the good with the bad. Gotta take the Shia LaBeouf with the Aubrey Plaza.
I was about to say, was it better or worse than Aubrey Plaza and Shia LaBeouf's sex scene?
I think the Aubrey Plaza Shia LaBeouf sex scene was more intentionally off-putting. Whereas I think this one, I could feel the nerds, getting
excited,
getting riled up, and that grossed me out more, I guess. But you know what? I'll let it slide because the rest was very good, very enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I'm told I would be down to watch this on a weekly basis, maybe even double them up so I can catch up with the rest of the rest of humanity.
Yeah.
Now, is this based on a manga?
It is based on a manga. I was gonna tell you. One of the funny things is
after I catch up with the show, I might do the old. This is something I used to do back in the day. I would watch until there were no more episodes, and then I would read the manga to know what happens next, and then I would get more into the manga than the cartoon. That's kind of the pattern I follow.
That is what I have done. I have been reading the manga since there is no more new episodes, and
So
funny thing is, in the manga, because it's like 3 or 4 years. Well, it's longer than 3 or 4 years now.
I was looking now on Wikipedia.
Old. When he puts up the book showing like the UFOs and stuff, it's Barack Obama as the president that went to Mars. But it's a really good mega Barack Obama. I have to say, I was really impressed by how they did the man justice in manga form.
Yeah. Whereas, was he Trump in this one? I wasn't looking close enough.
No, it wasn't. It was just a generic looking white dude.
That's kind of a bummer. I would have, or Biden perhaps. I would have thrown him in there.
Especially if he looked like the Biden from the Cup of Joe coffee shop book.
Yes, buff Biden. It should have been. That would have fit the vibe of DanDaDan, I think. So no, I'm sold. This will be our way to anime money, because we'll get all the anime fans listening along with us. We're gonna.
Hey man, DanDaDan is super popular right now, so
we'll
probably have a million people watching.
Easy appeal for more viewers, even though we'll probably lose them when they hear me, talking smack about the show so much.
Yeah, man, I am down to do more. Luckily it's still new, so we only have 7. We only have 6 episodes to get through to get caught.
Yeah, and apparently that episode 7 is the best TV episode ever.
Dude, I think you'd like it.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Whatever's going on, I'm into it.
All right. DanDaDan is popular. If you want to see us do more of it, always make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We enjoyed it quite a bit. I honestly do think it's one of the better animes I've seen in a good long while. Excellent.
I look forward to it. I'm already sold on it. I liked what I saw, and I can imagine it getting better. So I'm in the can.
All right. Well, we're gonna get out of here. I hope you all have a great rest of the day. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know if you want to watch more, and we will see you in the next one.
Have fun, and and no anime is as good as Family Guy. That's what I'm going to leave it on.
Don't you dare. We're not leaving it on that. Don't.
No, I'm burning it all down.
Don't even start with
I want to have no allies out there, so...
Man, I
can't. Give me Peter Griffin fighting the chicken over DanDaDan any day of the week.
Make sure you watch out for aliens that want to take your bananas. That's what we're ending it on.
Absolutely. All right, good night, everybody.